Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we've got tonight to cap off our day is 27 states, through their attorneys general, are telling the ATF to go pound sand around their most recent move. This you're going to love. Everything is linked in the description box below. And please, let me know what you guys think in the comments field down there and send and share this one out, because this is how we fight back against this overreach of this monster. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We're distributing freedom twice daily. We'd love to have you along for the ride. And the content today is brought to you by USCCA. Now, USCCA is an organization dedicated to the safety and the education of the concealed carry owner. This is something that is meant to help people avoid danger, keep their families safe, and be aware of all the scenarios that could present as a gun owner. Some of the things that you could learn from: having a plan for the worst case scenario like a home invasion, having the ability to access your firearm, train to use it effectively, and what to do afterwards, and also allows you to navigate the complex network of laws state by state to help you be most prepared to face every single day with your gun. Now, they have a 365-day money-back guarantee. They call it the Bulletproof Guarantee, and there's a link in the description box below where they're giving away special items like flashlights and range bags, depending on which level you're looking at. There's a link right down there, and thank you so much to them for sponsoring this content. All right, my brothers and sisters, this right here is exactly what I want to see. All right, check this out, because you're going to notice a few people who make an appearance a lot with this in the past little while. GOP attorneys general urge ATF to strike its proposed gun control law. I don't know what that was, like stuttered. Well, ATF, stop it. That's what it is. Now, what this is around the redefining who is a firearms dealer rule that they came out with, okay? The public comment section time was the 7th. Well, if you made a comment, awesome. If you didn't, please make a comment on the next one. This stuff all helps. And now the 27 attorneys general are diving on as well. Let's continue on to see what they actually said. A coalition of Republican attorneys general and lawmakers from 27 states urged the ATF to strike its proposed gun control rule, calling it arbitrary and capricious violation of the Second Amendment, of which it is. Now, let's get down to who did it and what they said, because this is where it matters. In a letter dated Thursday, so that's today, this is breaking about 2 hours ago, Republican Attorneys General Chris Kobach, Kansas, Brenna Byrd, Iowa, and Austin Knudsen, Montana, led the demand for immediate withdrawal of the ATF's unconstitutional regulation, arguing that, quote, the sale of firearms among individuals for profit is protected by the Second Amendment. Yes, it is, along with the other things that they've just decided to arbitrarily change through the executive bureaucratic process. This is the fight that we're in. I know we focused a lot on the Senate, a lot of legislation. We got to make a pit stop over here at the Attorneys General, smacking around the ATF a minute. Now listen, because this stuff is awesome what they said. Quote, this is an excerpt from the letter. Although long-standing regulations of large commercial enterprises that sell firearms might be consistent with the Second Amendment, as the Supreme Court decided in District of Columbia v. Heller in 2008, quote, that is not what this proposed rule does, so it's separate. This proposed rule seeks to require a license of every individual who sells a firearm for anything the department sees as a profit, to include currency, exchange of another firearm, or a service. That's exactly right. That's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to get control over every single exchange through the executive bureaucratic abuse of the system. This is coming straight from the White House. White House tells DOJ Merrick Garland, DOJ Merrick Garland tells Steve Dettelbach. That's the way this works. There might be gun control group in there somewhere before it gets to Dettelbach. But anyway, you guys get the idea. But this part, tell me when the alarm bells start going off on this part, because this might strike a few little memory chords for you of what the ATF has been getting smoked in federal court around. The Attorneys General also said the rule is unlawful under the Administrative Procedures Act, which instructs courts reviewing regulation to reverse any agency action known to be arbitrary, capricious, and abuse of discretion, or otherwise not in accordance with the law, according to the Act's language. Arbitrary and capricious, well, that's what they call this rule. The Administrative Procedures Act says the courts have to reverse this rule because it's arbitrary and capricious and an abuse of executive power. They sound like they're onto something, doesn't it? 27 states, more than half, are fighting this. This is what I'm talking about. Let's keep going, because this is awesome. Here's a few more quotes, and then I'll show you who's actually on this letter. If the department was serious about combating violent crime, it would focus on enforcing the laws that are already in the books to hold violent criminals accountable for their actions. That would be the type of work that could save lives, the chief prosecutors wrote. Unfortunately, The department has instead targeted innocent people who sell firearms. That is not only unlawful, but wrong, and the department must change course. I would agree. I don't know if they're going to heed this, but maybe if we had enough comments on the actual forums, and we had enough of this to combat all the Moms Demand Action volunteers who go in and leave comments, this is a battle, people, and we're on the front lines. I got one more thing for you. This is how we're doing it, and then I'll show you who's doing it. Quote, "This proposed rule is a flagrant violation of every American's rights guaranteed by the Second Amendment, ignoring the very concerns of our founders had when they ratified it," Knudsen told the National Review. Rather than meaningfully addressing the rise in violent crime occurring across the country, the Biden administration is once again criminalizing law-abiding citizens. "I will always fight federal overreach and attempts to erode Montanans' gun rights." Now, that's the AG of Montana, Knudsen, and at this point, I'll put the states who've signed on up there. Knudsen has done a lot of these letters. He's inspired a lot of these actions towards the overreach, and I'm here for it. So props to him and his office. And getting 27 states in total aligned to this is also awesome. That's over half the states. That's what I'm talking about. The more time that goes on, the more active that we are, the more that we are involved in this fight every single day, from YouTube channels to attorneys general to senators, we are going to win this and pass it on to the next generation, but it begins when we start the fight. And this is what it's all about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow when we crank back up this engine of freedom. See you then.